Hi everyone, it's Mr. Rock again. Today I wanted to talk about how we build independence in preschoolers. As many of you know, that's something that we start to see even as toddlers, that children want to learn how to do things on their own. And as a parent, one of our hardest things that we have to overcome is by allowing them to do that. Oftentimes when I meet with families, I talk about, well, what kind of things do you let them do? Are there any chores that they have? Do you let them do tasks? In fact, even on one of the assessments we do, one of the questions that asks, are you able to uh, make a bowl of cereal or something like that? Can you serve yourself? So how do we address that? How is it that as a parent, we're capable of building and molding those traits in our children as they start to develop and grow? So I have some notes with me. So if I look down, I apologize. So we're going to talk about um, you have to provide them opportunities to develop independence, and the reason for that is it helps build self-esteem, um, a sense of oneself. They start to know that they matter. So as you go on, even though you might feel upset that it's going to take longer, it's going to be messy, this is still a natural process that we need to go through. I'm sure, as you know, a lot of us were stuck at home during COVID shutdowns. This was a perfect opportunity for you to spend time with your children. And I'm not saying that you can't do that now. I'm just saying before, you were at home with them twice as much, sometimes all the time, depending on your life situation that you had. Um, these times that we spend with them is really a good time to nurture and get close to your children, to allow that independence, and in turn you're going to have some more free time for yourself. So we're going to do this over 7 different areas. One is you want to set predictable routines. Anyone that's ever met with me knows that I talk about structure and routine. If your child is having difficulty staying on point, if they get distracted very easily, if you have to ask them multiple times to do something, the best way to overcome that is to set a routine that they know they have to follow every day. You can do this through a chart on the wall. You can do it through little timer watches. We actually have a watch for our son, and it has all his tasks throughout the day. As he completes the tasks, he has to push a button, and it gives him a token to play a game later on. And he can save those tokens, or he can use them, and it's his choice, which we're going to talk more about that as we go along too. So as we give them these routines, they are learning experiences. They're learning how to do things for themselves. They're learning how to problem solve, and they also learn teamwork, because if they're struck with some task that they're not able to do, you will be the first person they go to ask, I can't do this, or how can I do that? And it gives you a great chance to sit down and work that through with them, so that the next time they're able to do that on their own. I know I'd mentioned choices. So you have to give them a certain amount of choice, and that doesn't mean that you're allowing them to do whatever they want. What it means is you give them several tasks that they're going to want to be able to do. So say you want to allow your child to dress themselves every day and pick out their clothes. So how do we do that so they don't wear bright orange pants and a neon yellow t-shirt and purple socks? So you go with them at the beginning of the week and you lay out outfits as it goes. So you can give them, say, Monday, 2 outfits to choose from, 2 outfits to choose from on Tuesday. You're helping them, but they feel like they have that sense of choice, empowerment, and it allows them to kind of get stronger growth. Something else that you can do is, if you guys have like game night, or if you have multiple children who like to play games, you can designate which child gets to make the choice and rotate them out. So you're building a structure, routine that they're going to follow. They kind of understand how that works. So say little Timmy wants to play one game, but Johnny doesn't. So once you have that in place, then they kind of understand that when the other chooses, then the next time it's going to be their turn. Choices are also very helpful when they want to do things on their own, in their own way. Again, going back to providing them 2 or 3 choices, you're still allowing them that. You're going to have less resistance later. Over time, you'll have fewer tantrums and possibly even none, because they're growing from these skills that you're teaching them. The third one is let your child help. Now, what do I mean by that? So, if you're say for example, you're having a really hard time having your child eat certain types of food. Granted, we have to take into account that there are texture issues, taste, things like that. They just may not like it, and that's okay. But say your kid likes eggs, but some days he's like, I don't know. Let them help you make the eggs. Set out your milk in a bowl or a cup. Have a separate bowl to put the eggshells in. You can crack the eggs and put the eggshells in the bowl rather than putting them in the trash. And you already have your milk there. So once all the eggs are in there, you have them put the milk in it, and you can get it started and then let them finish mixing the eggs up. And then you have them help clean up. So now everything's in a cup, everything's in a bowl, and they can do that themselves. They can take those to the trash. These are skills that really you're setting the foundation for strong cleanup skills later. So you want to make sure that you start simple and then kind of work into more complicated things. By no means do I say let them cook at the stove. If you're comfortable having them stand there with you when you make certain items, that's fine. Again, you want to keep the safety of them in mind when you do it. But as they get older, they'll be more comfortable to stand there to do the tasks when they're capable of doing that on their own. So what other thing does this do when you let your child help? It creates a back and forth conversation. So let's say you want to talk about something, say the weather, for example. Your child might not really know how to answer, or they'll just come up with something super crazy and random, and it's off topic, whatever that may be. But if you have a shared goal or a commonality in what you're doing in that conversation, they'll start to learn what things are anticipated when you have that back and forth conversation. So later on you could say, it's raining outside, and your child might say something, yeah, I'm really sad I can't go out and play today, or something along that line. They learn that because you initiated a start conversation on something else altogether, and you have those conversations with them until they get it, and then you continue on after that, expanding their vocabulary as you go on. So to kind of go, the next step here is give your child chores. This one was really hard for me because I have a set way to do things. If they're not done in XYZ, I get very upset, very frustrated. Is that healthy? No, not necessarily. It's not healthy for me. It's not healthy for them, because even though they're small and they're learning, they can still interpret what we are doing. Even if it's the wrong way, they're going to interpret it how they see. So you want to create a chore list that's age appropriate. So how do we do that? There are different sites you can go to do it, or you can start out something simple. Say for example, you're folding clothes. You can have them put those clothes in a basket, and you can how do I want to say this? You can have them put them away. You can have them take their basket to the bedroom. Something else that you can do would be something as simple as, say, picking up the toys. Um, this is a constant battle in my house, where I say, you need to clean your room because I can't walk through it. They don't want to do that. It's in their way. And there's nothing wrong with it being in their way, but in some sense you have to set a boundary. We have to have the ability to walk across the floor. Okay, so you're teaching them that they need to be responsible for their toys. You're teaching them how to properly take care of them, all while you're making sure you can walk through the house without tripping over anything and hurting yourself or them hurting themselves in turn. You want to, how do I say this, like, you're creating more of a stronger structure with these tasks, these routines, these chores that you're doing. Once you've embedded these chores into the daily routines, it's something that they'll eventually start to do on their own, and you won't have to remind them as often, hey, we need to do this. And again, you could tie it back to your structure chart. If you wanted to, you can say every other day that you have to pick up your toys, or twice a week, once a week, whatever you're comfortable doing in your house. So something else that you can do that would be considered a chore for a smaller child, younger child to grow in, to kind of build that on, would be to clean up after themselves at dinner. And I'm not saying take all the plates off, things like that, but have them be responsible for their little area. And then as they get older, you can say, okay, it's time to put the condiments away. Can you help me carry the food into the kitchen, and let's put it in new containers. So you start simple. Let's throw away our plate. Let's put our glass where it needs to go. Whatever vision you have for that specific chore, that's what you're going to have them do. And you're going to have them do that every single time. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. If they have company over or something, yeah, you're going to want to probably exclude that because they're more focused with their friends. And that's fine. But you want to give them that task. So I know I've mentioned like problem solving and things like that. So let's talk about problem solving and how it helps. So if you let them try things that are harder, and you let them try and solve simple problems, you are creating the thought that, hey, I can do that. I'm capable. I'm more capable of what I can do than I thought I can do. And the reason why I say it that way is we have a hard time not projecting our stress and our frustration onto our children. Something I learned a long time ago when I first started to do this job was adult problems need to stay adult problems. So you don't bring your adult problems into your daily life with your children. So when you're playing, you don't talk about your issues. It's hard to overcome. I still struggle with that. And it's okay that if you do, but what you want to keep in mind is if you include your children in the simple problem solving, you're going to find out that they are very happy problem solvers. They like to feel useful. We need to allow them to have a chance to fail. Now, what do I mean by that? When your kid first starts walking, you don't typically every single time hold on to them so they don't fall down. We let them experience that fall, right? So that's a failure. Does it discourage them? Maybe for a split second. That's how they're wired. But they're very perseverant. They will do what they need to do if it means getting to what they want. So we let them fall when they're learning to walk, and we let them put their shoes on the wrong feet all the time till they get it. They're going to put those shoes on their feet, and they're going to realize that they're on the wrong feet because it feels funny. Now, what do we do to overcome this? So we've let them experience this downside, right? Now we're going to make a suggestion. You don't want to interrupt them while they're doing it, because once you do that, then they're going to shut down most of the time, or they're just going to be like, you can do it, and then they're not going to want to do it again. But you don't want to be very angry or upset about it. You want to say, you did a really good job. Let's try them on different feet. Let's try it this way. And then build from that. So what's the takeaway from that? So we allow them to have tasks that are a little bit more challenging, but still within the realm of things that they can do, and we're there to offer support. We teach them how to deal with frustration, solve problems, and stick out challenges that are a little bit more challenging. You don't ever want your kid to grow up and just quit after the first try. I know I don't want to, and I know that I said that in a way that's very broad, and I'm putting an assumption onto you, but it's not intended that way. So again, I said we want to give praise. So we want to praise the effort, not the outcome or the skill. So when they're working through it, you say, I'm proud of you for sticking through that. I know it was very hard. And then you can go on to say, you're very good at tying your shoes, or you're very good at this. So, sorry, my lights went out, and it's not going to work. So, encourage projects is number 6. So, I'm sure that you've all sat down and you've done arts and crafts with your kids. I know they get to experience that at school, and any of you that are homeschooling probably are given certain little mini projects to work on at home. So what do we do? How's that work? So we're providing them an opportunity to focus their attention on one thing, okay, that contained activity for a set period of time. It could be frustrating. It could take all day if it needs to, as long as they're staying on task. We're teaching them that they need to focus on the task at hand, and then as they get older, you can teach them multitasking if you want. So you want to compliment them. You want to give them a sense of accomplishment, because it'll help build their self-esteem. As you praise them and you move on, you're supporting their independence. You're doing this by giving them choices. You are allowing them to do what they want the end result to look like. So what you can do with it is you can let them know that you see them. You can talk about their efforts. You can compliment their growth, and things like that. You do that through verbal feedback. It's called positive attention. And you're building these qualities, and you're fostering that independence to grow, and making it more likely that those behaviors will happen again. So the next thing I want to kind of highlight, it kind of sums it all up. And I know I didn't mention this before, but most of the information I got today came from the Child Mind Institute. You can search them on the internet, and you can go there. They have a lot of great information, but they have all these summed together. It's called PRIDE, Pride. Okay, there's strategies that are shown to help increase positive behaviors in young children. So we'll go down through them a little bit here. So we have praise. You're praising the appropriate behavior. It increases a specific behavior that you're addressing and contributes to a warm interaction. So you say, great job lining up those blocks, buddy. Whatever they're doing, you want to give that praise. Reflect. So we're reflecting on appropriate speech. It demonstrates that your child is listening, that you are listening to your child, and that you understand what they're doing. So it's going to make them have those stronger connections later. So when they say, I made a tower, and you say, you made a tower, you say, that's awesome. So you're acknowledging their work. Imitate. So this is like an appropriate behavior in play. So you give them positive attention for good behavior, and it promotes cooperation. So if they're building blocks, get down and build blocks with them. If they're coloring pictures, join them at the table. Color something out of the book. Let them pick the picture you're going to color and just color it. Create that way to have that appropriate behavior, because now they're going to be able to do that with other children. If they have siblings, it might over time release some of the tension that they might have between each other. So then you're going to describe the appropriate behavior. It reinforces positive play, and it draws attention to it. So when you are sitting there, you can say, I see that you drew this. I saw that you built that. And you're acknowledging, you're praising at the same time. You're letting them know that you're interested. They're going to start to imitate those behaviors as well. And always be enthusiastic. Anyone that's ever done a lesson with me will know that I will constantly be excited. I will exaggerate what their activities are, how they did it. You want to use playful voices, especially if they feel like they're really down on themselves, like they feel like they didn't do a good job. You give that extra step. You be that more enthusiastic about what's going on, and say, wow, that is awesome, and go from there. So I hope that what I put together here is something that you can find helpful, and if there's ever any questions that you have, feel free to reach out to me. I'm going to have this video on multiple platforms, so you will be able to reach out to me any way you want. I'm here to help. If I don't know the answer, I probably know someone that does, and we will be willing to work with you to get that solution that you're looking for. And as always, keep it fun, light, fun, and exciting, and you guys have a great day.